We got to sell this thing out and pack this thing because the way the trend is going, you never know if this is going to be the last spring game. I don't believe in that. I don't really want to condone that. I would like to play the spring. Actually, I like to play against another team in the spring. That's what I'm trying to do right now, to have it competitive. Playing against your own guys kind of get monotonous, and you really can't tell the level of your guys because, you know, it's the same old, same old. Everybody kind of know each other towards the end. I would like to style it like the pros. I would like to practice against someone for a few days, then you have the spring game. And I think the public will be satisfied with that tremendously. I think it's a tremendous idea. Yeah, I've told those personnel who should understand that it's a tremendous idea. Big 12 Pro Day and CU NFL Showcase. Pro Day is in Dallas Tuesday to Friday. I'm actually trying to attend that Pro Day to support a multitude of our players that's going to participate. Some won't. They may attend, but some won't because they're going to save it for our Pro Day because we should have all 32 teams in attendance because we got that many players that can fly out, play the game.
See this property on Craigslist for $4,300 a month? Well, it's been sitting empty for the last 28 days.
That's April the 4th in the indoor. Nike Coaches Clinic, about the top 50 high school coaches, top against another team in the spring. That's what I'm televised. ESPN2 will broadcast spring game on the 19th. We got to sell this thing out and pack this thing because the way the trend is going, you never know if this is going to be the last spring game. I don't believe in that. I don't really want to condone that. I would like to play the spring. Actually, I like to play against another team in the spring. That's what I'm trying to do right now, to have it competitive. Playing against your own guys kind of get monotonous, and you really can't tell the level of your guys because, you know, it's the same old, same old. Everybody kind of know each other towards the end. I would like to style it like the pros. I would like to practice against someone for a few days, then you have the spring game. And I think the public will be satisfied with that tremendously. I think it's a tremendous idea. Yeah, I've told those personnel who should understand that it's a tremendous idea. Big 12 Pro Day and CU NFL Showcase.
Yo.
Hi, welcome. Hey, I cannot see myself. Are we on the screen?
My. Let me see.
Oh, okay. I see myself. And yeah, how is everyone doing? It seems like Coach Hayes, you're out in the wilderness. How are you, sir?
We good. One shot, one kill was the deal. When I close one eye, they close two. Rock Nation. Oh, I thought it was a battle rap. My bad. I thought it was a battle rap. I had to do my little opening line. My bad.
Oh, okay. How are you, Street?
I'm chilling.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was all right, man.
Nice. So as people come in, go ahead.
Oh, you got it.
Am I streaking? I was just gonna say I have an announcement that I wanted to make, and I didn't tell you guys I was gonna make this announcement. Senior Director of Research and Information for Hayes Street. Okay, I've been promoted into this very prestigious role, working with these two. So I just want to let everybody know that I've been promoted because Coach Prime, being Coach Prime, has decided I'm going to throw out what I want to do different and see what sticks. And here we are. So for those of you that haven't seen it or don't know what we're talking about, Street just played the clip, but basically Coach Prime has decided, or he wants to play a team in the spring. So instead of having a spring game where it's like, you know, orange on white, green on orange, whatever it is, he wants to actually come together with another team similar to what the NFL does in training camp, spend some time with them, and then have a conjoined air quotes different things happening in the world. What do we think about that? Do we think that this is doable? I want to caveat all of this by saying this. Because the reason why I got promoted is because I did some research. It took me about 7 minutes to Google search what's going on. The only rule that is prohibiting them from doing this from Division I is the rule. It's just actively saying that they can't do it. They do this in Division II. They have the flexibility to be able to do this in Division II, not in Division I. So that's what I have so far. Am I buffering or something?
Yeah, I think it may be you. I mean, but we'll get through it. I understood what you were saying. You good. Oh, she out.
Peace.
No, but listen, bro. What up?
I got the glow, Street. I got the glow. I'm ready. I'm ready, Street. I'm ready. I got the glow.
I think she's coming back. But no, bro. I mean, I think when everybody heard it, everybody was like, "Oh hell yeah!" You feel me? You good now?
Is this better? Is this better?
I guess.
Ooh.
You fine. You was fine the first time. Nobody did. Where did you go?
Oh, everybody in the comments said that I was lagging.
You were lagging a little bit, but nobody's paying attention to them. We the boss. Who the boss? Who the boss?
Boss,
I want to make sure people get. Listen, I have very important things to say.
boss,
Anyways, what do you all think and feel about this?
You would have took it off. You would have took it off. Don't listen to them. Slow internet. Nah, you was lagging a little bit, but I mean, I think you're the guy together. Hey, what you think, bro? I mean, it's a hell of an idea.
So, what do you all think? What are your thoughts?
So I'll say this. I think he's touched on this before. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's more of a logistics problem than the idea. The idea, I think, is fine. I think it's great. It's cool. We do one thing about college football. For some reason, college football never follows any other patterns. It doesn't follow the pattern when it comes to the playoffs, to divisions. It doesn't follow when it comes to spring practice. In high school, you do this. In college, I mean, in NFL, you do this. In high school, right? The spring jamborees, you play another team for a half or whatever the case may be. In the NFL, they do the OTAs or the practice and the other team comes. But college is always different for whatever reason. No, we're not going to take your record. We're going to give you a ranking. Right. Then we're going to take your strength of schedule. So logistically, I think there's a problem. What that problem is, I don't know. But I think it's a great idea. You know what I mean? I think it's a great idea. I just don't know. When you're talking about 130, one teams or whatever Division I teams, that's where the logistics problems come in. Because what you do for one, you got to do for all, in essence. And that's where it becomes an issue with finances, money, making money, and so forth. That's my opinion.
I think we watched a couple weeks ago a kid get stuck in the transfer portal, hire a lawyer, hire another lawyer, and they figured out that, hey, you're a student athlete, just unenroll from the school and go enroll in another school. And it worked, right? And he walked out one school, walked into another school, got over the transfer portal. I don't know if the NCAA waiting to throw a javelin at Miami or not, but nobody has said anything. You know what I'm saying? It seemed to be legal. And I think there's a lot of things going on in the NCAA. I think there's a lot of people challenging the NCAA right now. A lot of the bogus rules and the bogus fake laws they have. And quite frankly, honestly, if you ever watch my interview with D-Money, D-Money's a lawyer, right? He's a Kane guy down there. And he talked about the NCAA, and he talked about, bro, listen, the NCAA is a bunch of young lawyers trying to figure out their way through life. You know what I'm saying? And people think that they're the FBI walking around with the letters on their chest, but no, it is basically a group of young lawyers trying to figure things out, throwing shit up against the wall, right? I think this is another instance where they're about to get challenged. Yeah, I think. Yeah, go ahead, really.
Do you think that? What do you think the biggest obstacle? Do we think the biggest obstacle is the logistics side of this, or do we think the biggest obstacle is the actual rule about it? Like, I guess I always try to think of like the why yes and the why no. Like, why no? Why would they not want to do this? Because we all know it would generate money. We all know it would generate interest. You can even sell tickets to people coming and watching the practices before it's the
Bruh.
actual game.
Flaw, listen, the NCAA has created a bunch of rules on top of rules that need to be unraveled. A bunch of bullshit on top of bullshit. Coaches can't buy kids pizza. And we all thought it was weird, right? And then we all just went with it. I just think they've created a bunch of stuff on top of stuff that just needs to be unraveled. I told y'all the story of Harbaugh when they were doing all the satellite camps, right? And people figured out a way to get a bunch of kids in one place and 5 or 6 colleges together to watch the kids. And Harbaugh was like, oh, y'all want to play? Okay. And he found a loophole that allowed him to go spring practice at MG Academy for a month. This is when Devin Bush was there. And the loophole was, back in the day, there was a swimming team that could not train during the summer because they were in cold weather. The NCAA allowed them to travel to train. So he was like, oh, we're in a cold weather place. Let's just go to IMG in Florida and train in front of the best recruits in the nation. And Nick Saban was floored. He was pissed.
Right.
But I just think it's one of those things where somebody smart can just keep looking at the NCAA and their rules and their thing and just keep unraveling some of the trash that we knew was trash.
I think so.
I'll say this real quick. Well, that's why lawyers get paid, right? Lawyers get paid to find the loopholes in the law, right? But here's what the thing is: a lot of people don't think about what you do for one, you must do for all. So most rules that apply for one sport must apply to the softball team, the baseball team, the basketball team. So now, do you open this can of worms for the soccer team to go during their training period to go to another school? I'm just bringing up scenarios that may be issues, and these are the logistics I'm talking about. It's just one of those things where, for example, like kids couldn't go get a job because they were on full scholarship. But guess what? The academic dude that's on full scholarship can go get a job. Right? And then you're talking about so many more teams. And here's what I'm going to say to y'all. I don't think this is going to be a coach favorite thing. Coaches are currently not playing spring games because they're afraid of getting their players poached when they showcase their talent in the spring. So now, if I go play another team where I see he's going to really put on, could my player get poached? Again, we're not talking about the blue bloods of college. We're talking about the Purdue's, right? We're talking about right. Purdue may have a cat that could really ball, and now, oh damn, you saw what he just did over there to you know what I'm saying? Whatever, to Kansas, and now, oh, let me go get him, because the reason guys are not playing quote unquote spring games publicly because they don't want their players poached. So I'm just speaking from what's out there. I think it's a great idea. But as I'm sitting back thinking about it as coaches and what we're seeing today, if guys are not going to play against each other because they're scared of being poached, why in the hell would I take my team to play somebody else and he shine and you got a bigger name than I have and you come grabbing off my roster? Now, if they close the transfer portal where once you're in there to spring, you can't leave, then I think coaches will be more open to doing it. But for right now, I have to be honest, if I'm low on the totem pole, I ain't going over there.
Yeah.
So Ohio State come get shit. Ohio, think about this. Nick Saban was mad, but he sure when he got Jahmyr Gibbs from Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Because Georgia Tech can't compete with Alabama.
But I think what you're saying is what we've always kind of said on the show, I feel like, is that we think everything these coaches are doing are basically saying, close that spring transfer portal. Because if you close the spring transfer portal, all the things that they're saying kind of go away. The fear of getting your players taken away, the fear of this, the fear of that, But if you take it away, the people who came to your school in December have to stay with your school until next December. I don't see the
Cool.
problem with that.
That's fair.
But can you close the transfer portal anymore? I don't think you can close it anymore.
We'll see, but so that's the other piece of this. Is like then there's always a loophole. Yeah. Well, I also think too that we're dealing with two different tiers or different tiers of issues, I think too. I think there's some schools that, quite frankly, feel like they just don't need a spring game. Like it's not really bringing them any value. So that's probably one thing. The other people are probably very scared of a player getting poached. Maybe the lower tier schools that are, where the big schools are just coming in, or the really good schools are coming in and picking their 2 or 3 really great guys. But then you have the schools that could benefit from this financially. And where do they fit? Because if this is a money-making opportunity for a lot of these schools think about that. People could probably charge just a flat fee of $50 and it would probably sell out immediately because that's a really great price just to get into a spring game. Because most of the time, you watch the game, but then you also get like the autographs and, it's more like friendly. So I'm just wondering, is it going to be one of those things where some people will do it and some people won't? Is it a recruiting advantage if you do a spring game versus a team? If Ohio State doesn't do a spring game, but I don't know, Rutgers and Michigan, well, they're in the same division. Let's say I don't know, 2 schools play each other. Like, is that a benefit for Ohio State to set it out and watch the spring game and scout? Or is that a benefit for the recruits that are actually getting to see their team play?
Or what if you got a kid that's between Michigan and Ohio State? Ohio State plays, Michigan doesn't. Oh, I'm going there because I get to see what they have. But it's again, logistics, I think, is the biggest issue right now. And I just think the biggest problem with the NCAA, especially the Division I category, it's too big. It's 131 teams, and they're not all on the same level. They don't make the same money. I think they need to split off from the G5. All right, now. They need to split off from the G5. My bad, that's my country talk, y'all. They need to split off from the G5. G5 needs to be its own division, in essence, right? Y'all check this out. This is going to get real country in 2 seconds. Watch this. All right, what's going on, huh? You getting ready to head back? Okay. I'm going to catch up with them later. We're going to lay them down later. Yeah, we ready. All right, now. When I close one eye, they close 2. When I close one eye, they close 2. That's right. I'm going to see you there, Dad. I see you. It's going to get country, y'all. Okay, we will. Yeah, we'll get a little bit. That's right. About 2 days. Yeah.
Tell them come closer. Who that is? Tell them come closer. What name is
their business?
Jay?
Huh?
Yeah, what name is Jay?
Okay, we'll do that for sure. All right, now. All right, you have a good one, sir.
Don't read
Nah,
that
that's my man right
Make it
Did y'all hear him?
18.
Did y'all hear him?
We couldn't hear him.
Hear him. We can only hear
Oh, man. Trust me, I couldn't either.
Don't get on back. I gotta get some meat back there, the milk at the Waffle House.
Hey, for sure. That's exactly. He said, "Hey, man, you gonna go out there and get some of that meat? Bring that meat back though with you."
Okay.
No, but I'm just saying that's all I'm saying, man. At the end of the day, like I was saying, I think G5 should be their own group. Still Division I back when they had the D1 AA, have their own playoff system. I think that would generate more money for them. Because right now, what they're playing for? A bowl game, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why not go to that level? Treat it like the minor leagues in essence, right? Become the feeder pattern you are. That's what you are right now. You're currently a feeder pattern for the major leagues, which is D1, Power 4. Right? And anybody that does well at G5 is going to get pulled up out of the G League and play in the big leagues. So let them have their own championship. Hell, if I don't be a champion at Power 4, I might have been one in the G5. Who knows?
Somebody said Darius, they really flawed. Fine. I may be slow, dog. What ASL, dog?
Huh?
The comments say really flawed. Fine. ASL.
ASL acronym.
ASL.
I think that's a mistype. I could be wrong.
What is it supposed to be? As hell? Really flawed, fine as. Oh, really flawed, fine as.
And that is that an exclamation? I can't tell. Anyways, thank you, Darius. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Really flawed. Darius like you in black. Black look like it's a color, huh, Darius?
Hey, Darius, let me tell you something. Darius, let me tell you something. When you speaking to the senior executive of news, research, and reporting, you better get your spelling right, my man. If you want any shot, listen, if you want any shot, Darius, when you are speaking to the senior director of research, news, and information, you can't come in here half-stepping with the grammar, dog. That's all I'm going to say.
Come here with that YN talk. All right, go in there with that YN shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he's still talking about, hey, Street, you remember that? Hey, Red, check this out, Red.
He come in with that YN shit. But hey, listen, I hear what you're talking about. The schools, everybody got to be, you got to do one for one. I think that doing one for what you do for one, you got to do for all. I think that's about over with, my bro. With this money stuff, I think that people are starting to accept the fact that, hey, Ohio State has more money than Bowling Green. Like, I think people are starting to accept. I think with this new money system that they're saying coming out, where everybody gets $25 million. No, listen, literally, it was told that certain players will get certain amounts of money and other players will get. I think equality is going away. And I think they're starting to face, you know what I'm saying? They're starting to face the truth of what college football is.
So, you know what? Speaking on what you're saying, Street, then if I look at this differently and I say, like, what is the gain for Coach Prime? How does this help Coach Prime? I think this I think this could be an advantage that Colorado's not going to have as much money as some of these other programs. They're just not, right? It's just not going to happen. It just is what it is. It's just not going to happen. So the way that you kind of go around that is you offer something different. So we might not do this and we might not be them and we might not whatever. However, we're going to do this. And if you're on the East Coast, we're going to play Syracuse. And are you from New York? You know what I mean? Like, maybe this is their way of bridging that money gap. Because yes, a lot of players go to schools for money, but some people want to go for the experience. Some people know they're not going pro, but they're really good at college football. There's people like, you know what I mean? Like, there's people, I think we always focus on the guys that are the guys, you know, the ones that are making the millions, but there's a lot more people that aren't making that are filling very important holes that are very important in football. What if this targets that demographic of people?
I think, you know what I think? I honestly think it doesn't go that deep. I think Coach Prime knows, like, even if this happened, it's not happening now. But what he is smarter than the mainstream media. What this does is another headline to get Colorado name before spring ball disseminating across media. And he does it in a way which they don't understand. He hands them something and he say, huh, and they just run with it. Extra, read all about it. Right. And then they start, they don't realize that what he's doing is, once again, free press for his program, which was nothing before he got there.
True.
Right.
True.
So at the lowest level, Fran Brown thought it was like, oh no, I'm hitching my wagon to this bullshit.
Which is smart.
So, yeah, and to your point, and right, so to your point, Street, going back to the blue blood schools, they don't need the publicity, right? Yeah. They don't need the shock value, right? I look at it like back to Lloyd, Morgan & Morgan don't need some crazy ass advertisement to get your business because everybody knows who they are. They know what they are. But the lawyer that's just starting out dressing up in a doggone chicken costume, if you've been arrested, come see. You understand what I'm saying? Or the car salesman. Ford is never going to advertise the same way Billy Bob's Auto Sales is going to advertise, because they don't need to garner that type of attention. So for Colorado, and to Coach Prime's credit, he understands where the program was, where the program is, and he has to do these type of things, which is fine, because that's his superpower, is that he's clickable, right?
Yeah.
Whatever he says will get clicked. We'll create views, right? Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, he understands all views have the same value.
I don't know if I agree with that. McDonald's, and I got you really flawed. McDonald's and Pepsi never stop. They don't ever bow down to check soda. They never stop promoting, right? And it's because this. If you keep thinking you don't have to do because you're out in head of them, if you keep thinking you don't have to market, you're going to watch them gain ground.
I agree with you. But they don't do the outlandish. What I'm saying is they don't have outlandish commercials like you'll see other. They still advertise to your credit. But like I'm saying,
they're just bland programs, if you ask me. I don't know if they're so cookie cutter. That's why Alabama ran college football for so long, but I don't think the brand, right? I don't think the brand did everything it could have done. Like Oregon never ran college football, right?
Yeah.
But their brand put an imprint on Shorty's heads in Miami, and they'd be like, I'm going to Oregon. I'd be like, where Oregon at? They'd be like, I don't know.
And then when they get there, they're probably like, what the hell?
Yeah, so in the game, you keep thinking that and watch Colorado gain ground. You better do something.
This is so interesting. I can understand both sides of this, because I think on one end of this, there is a piece where, yes, some people need different things, right? Like, yes, some programs need the spotlight, need the attention, need something different, because they're not going to beat you with money. They're not going to beat you with probably getting the #1 recruiting class. They're not going to beat you with getting the top, 7 top 50 players, right? Like, that's not their thing. And let's keep it real here. We're talking about the Big 12, okay? And based off what the College Football Playoff Committee told us about the Big 12 is they're kind of like, eh. And so if I'm a college athlete looking at that and I want to go to a school that's going to play for championships and this and that, I'm seeing how everybody looks at this division. So this would give somebody in that division a heads up and help them with recruiting. So if you list the schools you're going to recruit at, Colorado could give you a couple of checks that other schools won't get you, and then you have a decision to make. But the flip side of this, where I think Coach Prime really shines, and I'm going to be honest here because I've been a staunch critic of coaches speak, is a lot of what he also is doing as a distraction to his team. In regards to, we're not talking about the team. We're not talking about your lack of, right? We're not talking about your lack of high school recruiting that you act like doesn't bother you, but you keep saying it doesn't bother you as you talk about it every time you get a microphone in your face. We're not talking about some of the other things, because now we're talking about, are we going to do a spring game? Are we going to do a spring game? And then I just want to say this, because this is what I do when I watch these interviews. Somebody asked him a question about his team. Who do you like? What freshmen do you like coming in? What do you think? And who's looking good or whatever? And he, again, coach spoke us and said, our linebacker, our defensive tackles are looking really good. Our linebackers are looking good on the edge. We're going to stop the run. And it's like, well, hold on, bro. So I'm wondering how much of this is like a strategic placement of, don't look at them. Pay attention to the spring game. Pay attention to the spring game right here. So that's why I'm just kind of like looking at all of this in its totality. It's kind of like, did you hear the other 20 minutes of that press conference? Because the other 20 minutes of the press conference, I was like, great, so we still can't stop the run. You know what I'm saying? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about like the spring, which probably isn't going to happen because it's in a month. So that's why I'm like, this is kind of smart by him. This is kind of like,
it's very smart.
Hold on, Flaw. So you telling me he's using this as a future plot, but he's also using this as a diversionary tactic.
Yeah, and it's brilliant.
Wow.
And it's coaches speak. And that's the thing. And
It could be
listen,
true.
yeah, right. And it will also help with recruiting when you are a parent and you're like, man, that coach, like Coach Prime, like he's all these things, but he's really innovative. And I feel like he might give my athlete other opportunities, right? So it's all kind of working in the same way, because now a kid can go visit Florida State and they could be like, are y'all thinking about doing spring games? And they might say no. And that kid might be like, man, I really want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just gives him another talking point where he can sell something. It doesn't matter if it's smoke and mirrors. He can sell it.
Yeah.
That's tough. Hey, that's nasty work right there. That's nasty work.
But isn't that recruiting?
I keep looking in the back of Hayes' window thinking Jeepers Creepers or somebody gonna pop up back there, bro. I'm scared for you. It got dark really fast out there, dog. Yeah.
Hey, I'm good, dog. The funny thing is, the sun. I got the sunset on my face. I'm good, baby.
No.
Hey, plus, hey, real quick, Street. I got a dog that bark over here and bite over there. That's all you got to know.
I keep looking in the back of your window like, my dog, all right. I don't like light skin. Oh, that dog out there.
Nah, it ain't that dog. I got the Miami 10 on that thing, boy. Stop playing.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking. I always look at this as a whole package, because that's what this is, right? Your head coach of your football team, who usually only talks to the media one time in the spring game, has to create news, create buzz. Recruits are coming in. We saw what happened to your team last year. You're losing a big bulk of your team, right? Like, if you start to really think about it, I get it. It's brilliant. And it would also be a really good idea. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Anyways, those are just my 2 cents.
I'll just say this. I think.
That sounds right down his alley, don't it?
Say it again, Street.
I think you study Prime, all that. Yeah, that sounds right down his alley, don't it?
I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, like I say, bro. I get it. They 12-0. They going 12-0. Damn that. I ain't fighting it. Here's what I'm gonna say. I like the idea, because I never understood why college football is always so different than any other football in the world, right? Any other football, every sport does these things. The NBA does it in the summer leagues, in essence, right? They play other teams. Everybody does it, but college football, I think, in my opinion, wants to like have the vice grips on it so much that it becomes weird. Like, you have so many rules that you can't follow the rules. That's the problem. When you have too many rules, you break a rule trying to follow a rule.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens to me with college football, because, and this what makes it more complex than probably anything else. Because I keep going back to this. I know you'll be like, shut up, hey. But the number of members you have that you're trying to govern. And the problem is, you want to, in essence, try to keep them all treated fairly, but you can't, because everybody's not the same. Everybody doesn't bring in $200 million a year, right? Alabama brings in $200
Texas
million.
does, so hook them. Oh, sorry. This isn't about Texas. My bad. Sorry. I got a little excited.
Texas brings in 199 a year.
Texas
Alabama
was
brings
profitable.
right. But then when you look at Texas Tech,
Yeah.
they're not bringing in that much money. So for the NCAA to say, hey, all right, y'all got $20 million to spend on your thing. Well, if everybody don't have 20 million, they may have it in essence in the bank. But if that money needs to be allocated to do other things with, something's going to lack. But when you have an abundance, you can do those things. And that to me, that's the biggest problem with the NCAA, is you're trying to treat all your kids the same, but they all have different values. And then it becomes different is what really becomes different, like Street was saying, yeah, it's not going to be equal. So now there goes the recruiting advantage. We're literally going back to under the table deals to now just on top of the table deals, because the people who got the best players paid the most money under the table. Now instead, put it on the table. So you haven't leveled college football. The transfer portal is not going to level college football. NIL is not going to level college football. The rich get richer and the poor stay right where the hell they are. And that's what it is.
But why are we trying? My thing is why are we trying to level it? Why can't people just realize where they're at? Like,
because people feel like you don't want to have teams that just monopolize the game. Think how boring college football is, to be honest, if you see the same 3, 4, 5 teams every year in the national championship.
Well, let's be honest though. I think that's where we're headed.
But that's already where we were.
That's
where we already. But I'm saying the whole thing for NIL and transfer portal was to level it out. What I'm saying is,
no, we can't level it. I think.
No, but that was the purpose.
They sold it. Yeah, I think they sold us a field of dreams. I think that. I don't think we can live in a world where money is going to dominate a space and then us say it's going to be fair. This is going to level it out. Well, no, the person with the biggest bank is usually going to get the most. And
that's why everything else has caps.
Yeah. See, now that is a conversation I don't think we're having enough of. I personally think they should do like they do in the NFL. I think if we really want to act like college is the NFL, I think, why don't we have salary caps? Why don't we cap it? Why don't we say for the football team, the cap on how much QB1 can make is, $4 million or whatever the number is? Like, why, if we really want to make this fair, which I don't believe we do, but if we really want to make this fair, give everybody the same playing field then.
So then they got to start agreeing that then they have to really start agreeing that this shit is not what they said it was. Student athletes and all that got to go out the door.
So they all lie. And that's my whole point. So which one is it? If we want to make it fair, we can make it fair. But you don't really want to make it fair. You want us to think you're trying to make it fair.
There you go. Exactly. And back to that point, Street. You sold us a bunch of fake goods. You said, well, the NIL, whatever, play for play, great. But where the problem is, where the NCAA kind of insulated themselves was to say, well, the school can't be a part of your NIL. That's separate. That's where they insulated themselves.
Yeah.
And that's all I always say, like, don't tell me you want something to be fair and then it's not fair. You're lying to me. I feel manipulated. Stop lying to me.
Could you imagine having a maid at the house, right?
Let me take this phone.
A maid at the house, right, for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the maid figure out that she should be getting paid. And then you say, no. Okay, you got me. Go out and find somebody else who wants you to play, to cook, to work at my house. It doesn't even make sense.
Because they played it backwards. What they should have did from the beginning was made the $20 million thing from the schools and call it a day. That's your salary cap. That's $20 million. You're allowed to spend $20 million. You can't spend no more, spend no less. You better figure out, all right, if you want to pay Arch Manning $11 million out of your 20, well, you got to split up $9 million some other ways.
They had to be forced into that, though, Hayes, because Northwestern stood up and was like, we're finna unionize. And then they stood up and panicked. You're right. They panicked. It was like, no, we're going to turn it into golf. Go find a sponsor.
I get it.
They started getting sued and they got forced into what you're talking about.
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying, because the brain trust didn't think this out to say this NIL. As soon as I heard NIL and there was no restrictions, which I know I don't want to restrict them That is their name, image, and likeness. What does it sound like to take that to cap off Tim Tebow's jersey sales? He earned that right. I totally understand that, right? So I'm not here to cap off as much as I don't like Florida, but I don't want to cap Tim jersey sales. I don't want to cap Cam Ward or Shador, whoever, because you earn that, right? That'd be like having to cap off Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. They don't do that to them, so you can't do that to the players. We're talking about name, image, and likeness. However,
right,
when you try to separate the two, therein lies the problem, and the schools are going to naturally get involved with the NIL because they got boosters who got companies.
But I think I guess my point is we can't make it perfect, right? Someone has to lose, somebody has to win. That's the way life is set up. My issue is if we could have a salary for your team. I'm making this up. Let's say the salary for your team is $20 million and you get to decide how you spend the $20 million. And we have, like, I don't know if we have to know or whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you get NIL deals, that's fine. My thing is this, though. The amount of student athletes that are actually getting large scale NIL deals is not as much as we think, because everybody is not a star. Everybody can't push product. Everybody is not the guy. But I think because the guy is who we hear about often, we assume that everybody is Jeremiah Smith. We assume that everybody is Arch Manning. We assume that everybody is, you know what I'm saying? And everybody is not. There's probably 10 people. I'll say 25 people that are making really good NIL money, But the rest of the people really probably aren't. And so I guess my thing is can you fix it and never make it perfect? No. But can you like make it to where it at least makes a little bit of sense? And the schools that don't make a lot of money, listen, they're always going to be out. They're going to be out without this, right? Because they don't have good locker rooms anyway, or they don't have good travel allowances, or they're not playing the big games, right? There's always a reason why people are going to be out of this. I just feel like we're acting like there's so many problems for us to solve, so we're not implementing anything, and that's my issue. You know what I mean? I feel like we're just like open up the floodgates. Who knows? Open up the floodgates. Everybody coming out of high school is the guy. That's great. But after a year, that goes away. That goes away. Most schools are not giving a freshman $2 million to most people, right? Now, if you're a 5-star and all of that, you're probably going to get a lot of money. But most people that come out of high school are not getting large packages.
And you know what, to your point, Floyd, I said this a long time ago. I know it's going to sound hypocritical, but it's really not. When they allowed the collectives to come in, that was the boogeyman right there. Because the collectives, in essence, are not NIL. And to Coach Prom's credit, I will always give him credit for this. He's always said this. NIL is not what it is. It's for your name, image, and likeness. And I feel that if you are going to be an NIL, if you have an NIL deal, all I'm saying is maybe, again, I'm just thinking this out the top of my head, but maybe you register your company with the NCAA, right? So if it's Dr. Pepper, okay, that's a legitimate company, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What is Rogue? Like, that's his name, image, and likeness. But what is he doing? Like Prom said, what are you doing with your name, image, and likeness? They're not doing anything. They're just cutting you a check. But the university has 20 million. And to your credit, everybody's not getting $11 million. Everybody's not making $200,000-$300,000 a year. Right?
Correct.
The top quarterback, maybe a receiver, running back, maybe 100, whatever. And that's all I'm saying is that the school should pay if they're going to pay, because people don't realize this either. A lot of people don't realize this about college football. Players used to get, or they probably still do, a cost of attendance check from the school.
Mm-hmm.
These players were never hungry. Let's not get it twisted now. I'm not saying they were paid their fair due for what they accomplished on the field and what they did for the university, but they ain't back there looking like Dexter Manley talking about I was hungry after the game. It ain't like that no more. Them days done. Now, some of them small schools, yeah, and they still gonna be hungry. But we talk about P4 schools. Them kids eat round the clock. Shit, they got their own chef. They got lean meals, gain meals, maintain meals. So that's never the issue. I just say, I guess I'm looking at it as to say, if it's your name, image, and likeness, then straight to your point. Go sell your name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
But when they open that collective, that opened the floodgates for everybody to ask for money.
True.
Let me ask you this. Who's the third string linebacker for the Miami Hurricanes, Street?
Third string,
Yeah.
Kellen Wiley, probably.
Who?
Kellen Wiley, probably.
All right. Right now, if you were a business owner, would you give Kellen Wiley a NIL deal to promote your business?
That's funny you asked that.
Oh gosh, here it comes. Straight answer.
Think about what we did. Remember what we did with the linebacker Hayes when NIL first started?
Yes.
Right. I understand what you're saying. I guess it would have to depend on his presence on social media. But
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Oh, that's my whole point, Street. And guess what? Let me ask you this. Would you pay Kellen Wiley the same that you would pay Cam Ward?
No.
And that's name, image, and likeness in a nutshell right there.
Right.
That's name, image, and likeness. I'm not saying Kellen Wiley should not get name, image, and likeness. But to Floyd's point, it ain't going to be nowhere near as Cam Ward. Not even close. Not in the same stratosphere.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll pony up some real money to have Cam Ward come on in and say, hey, y'all come check out Footballville, blah, 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 woo, 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 woo. Because most people, when Kellen Wiley go up there, no knock on him, but they don't know who the hell that is. They don't.
He would have to. The lines got blurred because the colleges wanted to take. They wanted to take a charge, advantage. They wanted to take, you know what I'm saying, take their leverage back. That's where the lines got blurred at. They were being selfish, literally. Like, yeah. And the problem is that the players just sit and watch. That's the problem. Like they just sit and watch, and it's like, go line up over there. Everybody go line up over there. We're go line up over there and give us 2 lines. And we need a Dr. Martin Luther King quarterback of college football that's going to bring everybody and not have a dream one day.
I think that, yeah. Well, I don't think people want that anymore because that's a different conversation for a different day. But
well, not from a race standpoint, just from a union standpoint. That no, we don't want $25 million cap.
But I think,
$50 million.
No, I wasn't saying it from a race perspective. I was saying it because I think I could be wrong here. I'm about to make a lot of assumptions. People live life and they think there has to be sides. Like the people who know me, who I talk to often, know that I'm known for writing right in the middle, right? Like I usually stay in the middle. I will argue both sides of the coin for you because I don't feel like I have to be on a side.
Right.
I think most people have to be like, well, we can't do this because of this one little thing. We can't. And so I feel like as people, we've lost our ability to realize that you're the part of negotiation. When you're in a good negotiation, what happens? You give a little, you get a little, both sides come out feeling like they lost. Both sides come out feeling like they win. That's how good negotiations work. But I think we live in a society where people have sides and they're like, it's either this or that. And it's like, as long as we live in that, it's never going to be anything great because you have two very strong sides. We're missing the point here. The point is to move the game forward. But we're too busy saying, yeah, but what about Maryland? Well, really?
What are the two sides?
I think there's the sides that is saying, yeah, but the problem is it gets so complicated, and then we have to do this, and then we're gonna have to do contracts, and then do we pay the student athletes, and so there's all of these reasons why not, right? All of these reasons. The lower schools. What if you're not a big school? Well, yeah, but did it right? All of that. Then there's the side of it where it's like, yeah, but they're student athletes. And let's give them what we can give them, and let's help them, and so it's like nobody is willing to come together and say, okay, what if I give you a salary cap on one end, and on the other end, I'm making this up, we do a revenue sharing like baseball does. So baseball does, if you're at the very top of the pyramid and you make a ton of money, the top teams then filter in money to the bottom half of the teams to try to boost up the game. I don't know if it's still that way, but it used to be that way. But my point is everybody is getting a little, right? And then some people, you see what I'm saying? It's like, but where are we at? We're not even negotiating anymore. We're just like, right. Yes, no.
So to your point, Flaw, for example, I think that's a great point. Back to the point I was making about cutting off the G5s. I know y'all like, shut up. I get it. But if you cut the G5s off in the Power 4 conferences, say, for example, they pool up X amount of dollars and divide that evenly, then everybody's making the same. Now, whatever you make on your name, image, and likeness, that's your bonus money. It's like right now, I got a job, you got a job, right? Street, just street. That's my dog. He in the streets, right? But our job is not like that. Like what we do here is bonus money because of this is who we are. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why there's no separation between the name, image, and likeness and the school. And I think that's where the biggest problem is, because you're only going to get that one. It's always going to be that 1%. Everybody ain't a star.
Period.
A star. So if you cut, and that's like cost of a tennis check. So at the end of the day, hey, this is everybody's bonus check because this is what NCAA Power 4 football generated. We divided it by 4,000 students or whatever the number is. I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
And it gets that check. And if you want more money, then guess what you do? You play better to increase your name, your image, and your likeness.
That's all I'm saying. I feel like we're just living in this place where we're like, yeah, but what about the little people? Yeah, but what about the little people? Well, the little people, like, you can't help everybody. Everyone's not going to benefit the same way. Everyone's not going to get the same stuff. Some people have 100,000 plus football stadiums, and some people have 50,000 plus football stadiums. Where are the people whining and complaining about that? Like, where are the people that are like, it's not fair. If I go play at Miami, it's louder than if I go play at University of Wisconsin. That's not fair. Nobody is saying that. And that lets me know that we just want our side. And it's like, come on, none of this is fair. Life isn't fair. Like, different situations. Some people have great locker rooms. Yeah, some people have great uniforms. Some people have like this is just what it is.
Hey, like I remember my best friend, big brother, when we were in high school, told us, everybody's gonna get a little bit, though. Don't nobody get it all.
That's period.
And God stuck with me, bro. Like, but he wasn't talking about football. He was talking about something else. But he was like, everybody get a little bit, don't nobody get it all. And I think that's what you're kind of talking about, Flaw. I think the faking is going out the window. This is turning into money. And the more that it turns into money, the teams with the money are going to keep winning. Or the teams that can figure out how to generate money. Because you take an SMU, right, who's a smaller team, but all of a sudden we realize they got money.
They got a ton of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot.
So we can't pinpoint who the teams are. But yeah, if we keep talking about money, the teams with the money are going to keep benefiting.
And rich get rich.
Going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole that we're going down. Yeah,
I mean, if you just look at rich people and poor people in real life, rich people, well, I'll say wealthy people usually know how to manage money better. They usually know how to be in the stock market. They usually know how to invest. They usually know how to do certain things. They usually know how to make money while they're sleeping. They usually, you know what I mean? They're usually healthier. Like, insert all things you want to say compared to somebody that doesn't have the same skill set. Like, my point is this is the world we live in. Instead of fighting it, how do we find a common ground and say, okay, listen, you're not Ohio State, okay? You're never going to be Ohio State, okay? Memphis, you're never going to be Ohio State. You're just not. However, this is what we're going to do. The other thing is, too, is I feel like, I don't know about you all, I feel like what's happened with college football that I didn't expect to happen is I'm starting to realize some of these corporations that I never thought about that are in certain schools that are starting to help, like Arkansas, like Walmart helping with Arkansas, FedEx helping with Memphis, like a lot of these like big businesses that I never thought about are starting to kind of pitch in to help certain football programs do certain things. I think that's good. Like, I bring it in. Like, bring it in. Like, why not?
The only thing I'll say, Florida, to push back a little bit is that goes against the whole essence of sport, right? The essence of sport is fairness in regards of the playing aspect of it, just the playing aspect. And what happens is, because of money, you have the opportunity to stack the deck, right? You have the opportunity to stack the deck. And it's kind of the same fight that public schools in Dade County used to have with the private schools, right?
That's fair.
The,
Yeah.
the problem that people have with St. Thomas Aquinas or with whatever school versus the Miami Centrals or the Northwesterns, they get to pick the players they want. I got to take the players that live in my zone, right? And yet those private schools get to play in our districts. How is that fair? Why don't the private school go get your own damn district, right? The hell is that? Oh, my bad. Private schools get their own district, right? Like, I think New Jersey does that. New Jersey have a public school and then they have a private school district, and that's it. But they follow two different sets of rules. Public school, like St. Thomas used to go get my man LaMarcus Joyner from off 152nd on Southwest by the zoo. You know what I'm saying, Street? You know where that's at.
Yeah.
Bro, they send a little bus with about 6 seats on it. Dun, 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 dun. Go get him, and he go all the way up there, make their school look good, look great. And then when they say, oh, they're a powerhouse, well, fuck, they playing with a dream team every week, right? So I'm all for it. I understand the rich get richer, but I just believe that if you cut everybody the NCAA check and then you go get your own name, like if you want to be a registered company or whatever, through the NCAA, like, hey, we're a registered company, Footballville Inc., and we want to do an NIL deal, blah, blah, blah. This who with, because of his name, image, and likeness. But this whole collective bullshit, this collective stuff, that's what really made it Wild Wild West. Because the collective, even a NIL, it's a pay for play in essence. The collective's not even tied to a company. Like, right. For example, the Kane Connection, is that right, Street? Kane Connection?
Uh-huh.
That's not a company. That's a collective. So where is their name, image, and likeness going towards? What are they promoting? The
collective. The collective.
But I think
as something, as a vehicle. And basically they were like, okay, this is makeshift. We're going to say that we're getting companies to invest in what we're doing. But we're just going to give them the money and have them to put on a collective shirt and be like, hey, donate to the Change Collective.
And they don't even damn iron the shirt. Damn shirts be wrinkled as hell, like they got out of Trump.
But that's business 101. How do you think Amazon became what Amazon is? They were going in, buying little bitty businesses that couldn't afford to be operational, and they bought them out and they took over. That, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is this happens everywhere in life. I know we want to act like sports are secret and they're not supposed to be like that in sports. It's supposed to be that. It's not. It's life. And it's about making money. And if you win, you make a ton of money. And so these people are doing it. I think if we started this conversation. What?
Why doesn't the NFL, the NBA, why everybody else doesn't seem to have these types of problems except the collegiate level?
Because there's that's why I was telling you about the salary cap. Like,
Right.
for example, we all know Steph Curry is probably making more in his air quote NIL, which is endorsements in professional football. Steph Curry is probably making way more money on his endorsement deals than anybody else on the Golden State Warriors. LeBron James is probably making more money in his endorsement NIL than anybody else in the Los Angeles Lakers, probably not named Luka at this point in time. My point is, we realize that it's not fair. We know it's not fair because we see it happening in professional sports. I don't know why in college football we have this, it has to be fair. Where did that come from?
Lakers, to me, there's no Lakers collective that brought LeBron there.
But that's actually not true, because KD said he went to Golden State when he went to Golden State because of some of the business opportunities that were available to him in Golden State. But my point is this, though. Everybody is not KD.
There you go.
The other 9 players or 12 players, however many of the people they have on the NFL or in an NBA roster, don't have that advantage. Why do we always talk about the guy? Can we talk about the others? There's more of them. We realize that, right?
But those guys make the difference. Those
guys shouldn't set the rule. They're the exception.
I agree. No, 10,000%. I totally agree with that. And I think we're saying the same thing. I was just simply saying that when you talk about what's fair, what's not fair, it sure did. But in the NBA, does everybody have the same salary cap?
Yes.
What's not fair is that the owner decided to be in damn Milwaukee instead of LA. So maybe the media presence is different. So I get that. True. But that is nothing you can do about that, right? But if everybody gets the same salary cap, like you were talking about, and everybody, that's what makes it fair. And now how you maneuver your salary cap or how you negotiate your things and how you work within the contracts, that's up to the wits of the people who make those decisions. But right now, the NBA, the college is the only one that's got these collectives, and that's what makes it unfair. Is big bank take little bank. Mm-hmm. But if LeBron goes to the Lakers, he may get more money, but that means other people won't get as much money.
Right. I also think too, somebody can correct me if this is wrong, but in the NBA, they have luxury tax. So let's say the thing is $100 million and they go over the $100 million. I think the amount they go over, they get taxed. And I feel like that money goes back to other teams. I could be wrong on this. I'm not 100% sure. But my point is, if you're going to break the rules or go over the budget or go over whatever, if you have to pay the price for that, it goes back down into the other teams. Again, is it fair and perfect and da-da? No, but it at least gives you back something. And that's what I wish we talked about more. Is we can make this closer to being balanced. It's never going to be fair, but we can make this close.
Hey, Flaw, I agree. If you want that player, right, and that player transfer to your school, then buy out his scholarship for the past 3 years he was there.
Period. Make it right. See, right. I like it.
Hey, think about it. You got guys. Let's just take LeJounte Wester, for example, because we were talking about Colorado earlier. He goes to FAU. Tom Herman and all them recruited him, invested in him, developed him in essence, if you want to say that, right? Mm-hmm. All those things showcased his talent, and he ups and leaves and goes to Colorado, and they have FAU has nothing to show for it. At least make them whole, paying them out, because they don't make the kind of money.
Idea.
I've been said that. Huh?
Go ahead, finish.
No, I'm just saying that I've been saying this. If you take a G5 or lower player and they come to the P4 level, there should be a scale. I don't know what that scale is. I'm just talking here. Brilliant. But there's some form of scale to buy that player out because these schools who have less resources have invested time, effort, energy, and money in the recruiting process, flying to go see them, talking to them, flying them up for official visit. They spend all that time, and yet you're making $200 million a year, and FAU is not making nowhere near that. And then he comes, scoops them, and when he goes to the NFL, LeJohntay Wester, Colorado, they're not even mentioned. Nowhere.
No, I like it.
They're not mentioning him. When LeJohntay Wester comes back or they retire Jerry, they're going to retire from FAU.
And like you said, that everybody hurts, right? If you want this guy, cool, get this guy, fantastic. But you have to pay us because for whatever reason, and again, is it 100% fair? No, but it gives you a little bit of balance. And it gives somebody in the chat said, I can't find it. I'm sorry. About where the money goes. I saw it go by now.
Let's Kiki what happened to luxury tax. Kiki! Let's see if Kiki know what happened to luxury tax.
From ask for a Major League Baseball and the NBA.
Ask Lil Wayne about luxury tax. And Ross.
Because I think somebody said it went half and half back to teams and then half back to like the org. But I can't find it.
But to me, that's a rich get richer. Shit, I could pay you all. My thing is, again, that's somebody making concessions, right? Well, if you want it, you got to pay a little extra more. Well, if I got 200 million and it costs me an extra 2 million, so what? I got to play times better than everybody.
I like that. Somebody after the game is asking who's in control of dividing the 20 million at each school, the collective or the university. It is the university. It is the athletic director and their staff.
Right.
I do want to call out though one thing for the 20 million, just something to think about. A lot of people are excited for the 20 million because they're like, oh my God, all this money. Don't forget that is also going to increase the amount of scholarships on different teams. So the scholarships still cost money. So some of that money for a lot of schools is going to be paid towards paying for those extra scholarships. So I'm making up these numbers, but if let's say an extra basketball scholarship for 4 years is $500,000 and you have 3 of those players, some of that money that we're getting goes back to paying for scholarships that are not necessarily on scholarship yet. So just something to consider. 20 million sounds good until you start looking at where the 20 million's got to go.
And that's all sports, correct?
All sports. And every school can divide it however they want to divide it. So
Y'all, can y'all hear this?
I can't hear anything. I was trying to stall for you. I can't hear anything.
Flo, let me ask you a question, and I know where you're going to kind of answer.
She was talking. I don't know. Y'all can hear.
I was trying to help. I'm talking because I'm hoping you were like.
Kiki later.
What were you going to say, guys?
Go ahead.
All right, Flo, I'll ask you a question. What if an athletic director and the team says, okay, LSU, here's a perfect example, LSU says we're going to take our 20 million, we're going to put 13 in football, 7 in basketball, that's it. No women's sports, no other sports. What happens? No women's basketball, just football and men's basketball. Those are the 2 biggest money makers. We're going to ball out because in the past, football and basketball has always paid for other sports. So we'll continue to do that, but let's get better players with that 20 million. We can get better players, generate more revenue that way instead of saying, hey, let me give this person on the softball some, that person some. What do you think about that? Boy, got dark out here, boy.
It is dark. The problem is nothing. They can do whatever they want. There's no rules.
I know about it. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it?
Mm-hmm.
So from what I could gather and research, since I am the director of research, I personally think there's going to be a bigger issue. I think the bigger issue is the scholarships from other sports. I think that is going to infringe on this money more than how much money we give a sport. For example, if you say, okay, oh, our softball team, only half of them are scholarships and half of them weren't, and then now all of a sudden all of them are on scholarship, you're going to slowly start eating at that money a little bit at a time. One of the reasons why I started thinking about it this way, I didn't think about it this way 2 weeks ago. However, I was listening to CDC, who is the Texas athletic director, and he said the way that they're going to divide the money is all the scholarships they can make whole, they're going to make all of the scholarships whole. So their first path of business, now obviously Texas has a very healthy budget, so just go with me here, but their first line of business is to make all of those scholarship positions whole. So I think volleyball was only had like 10 scholarships. Now they might get 15. So they're deciding to put the money into the scholarships and not necessarily the programs because they can do that. But what does that mean for, like you said, LSU? I don't know LSU's financial situation. So I think every school is going to do.
I know, but what I'm saying to you is I'm the athletic director at Texas now, CDC. That's my name.
Yeah.
And I said going forward, we're putting $13 million into football, 7 into men's basketball. The other programs get none of this 20 million. No, we ain't making those scholarships whole. I'm putting 13 and 7 into those 2 programs.
I wouldn't like it.
Is that yearly?
Yeah, I'm putting 13 in football, 7 in basketball every year.
How long does it last?
At the end of the day, I think after what we've seen, it's going to look like they're being robbed. It's almost as if somebody at your job showing you what you could get paid, and then next year paying you what they want to pay you.
And they start taking out them taxes.
Yeah. So either way, it's funny, but you're about to watch what employment looks like, or you're about to watch what control looks like, and you're going to be like, "What? Jeremiah's only getting what? He would have got XYZ." See, that's what makes it so crazy that nobody stands up and fights. Like Northwestern had the right idea. Like at this point, the players would just stand up and be like, "No, we ain't playing spring. What are y'all talking about next year? We're not doing that." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. So there's only one side fighting. Like I said, if you had a maid at the house and all of a sudden she discovered she should be getting paid, but she has nobody to fight with,
right?
You're the only one to make the rules.
But
So
right, but here, 100%.
You just gotta fall into what the other rule is.
Yeah, but to that point, because when I'm thinking about athletic directors, I've never heard, I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm too wrong, athletic directors getting fired because the soccer team didn't win a national championship. I don't hear athletic directors getting fired because the water polo team didn't win a national championship. Hell, I don't know how many people in the chat, but I hate to say it this way, but it's, like you said, life ain't fair. Who cares about the water polo team winning national championship? It's basketball and football. So if I'm an AD and I want to say, look, I'm putting all my resources into basketball and football, man, I hear about the lacrosse team. That's cool, whatever. But I ain't getting fired because lacrosse didn't make it to the damn playoffs. I'm getting fired because basketball and football is king. And for decades and decades, basketball and football has paid for the softball's travel. So why not, and I'm just bringing the scenario, why not invest all of my dollars into making the 2 money-making programs better? And then whatever we make off of that, because the more you win, the more money you make, then I can skim some money off to pay for the rest of that stuff if I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's going to be interesting, dog. But listen, that's a whole hour we done left on Prime and NIL. Let's get to some of this pro stuff. We got our pro girl here with us, Flawed. Well, a lot of trades went down, like a lot of big-time trades went down. But which way you want to delve into? You want to delve into Geno Smith going to the Raiders, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, Myles Garrett, who we discussed? Which way you want to start with?
Right back. Sorry. I'll be right back.
All right. Myles Garrett, because we brought up Myles Garrett on the show, and we read his whole statement about how he loved being in Cleveland, but he wants a trade because he wants to be on a winning franchise and he wants to do this and he wants to do that, only for him to get a ton of money and be like, get winning. You know what? Everything I said, absolutely not. So, and listen, I'm not mad at Myles Garrett, by the way. Like, money is money, and money helps you get through life, and money helps you be financially free, probably mentally free, and probably going to help him in a lot of ways. And if he's going to risk his body, listen, give him the money. I don't mind the money. My question is, Street, how do you feel about a guy coming out and being like, I need to leave, I want to win, I want to do this, blah, 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 only to just, 2 weeks later, sign this large contract? Again, coaches speak, players speak, they lie. I tell people this all the time.
Well, what was his reason? He wanted to be the winner, and he wanted to be the winner.
He wanted to be known for winning Super Bowls. Yeah, so right. he wanted to really, let me see if I can find that letter. He wanted to whatever his lie was, because we all know it was a lie at this point. He just needed attention.
Right. I don't know how often, once you start making that much money to play a game, I wonder how often players really do get to a point where they're like, man, I want to win. Like, I made enough millions. I want to go somewhere and win. And they genuinely mean it, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times you hear when they say that stuff, it just translates into, yeah, I better find me some more money. That's what it, right. Yeah, that's what it translates into. But when he was saying it, we didn't really suspect that, though, Flaw. We thought he was being real.
Right. I mean, okay, so here it is. So let me just read this. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, and that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me who the man I'm going to be today. Blah. While I've loved calling this city home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stage won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested a trade for the Cleveland Browns. And then 2 weeks later, or whatever, he was like, you know what? 140? Okay.
Orange ain't that bad.
Yeah. I'm a loser. It's okay. It's like, I don't really need the Super Bowl. Actually.
It's a game.
But so I was thinking about this, and I like what he's doing because of this. If you know you're not going to compete for a Super Bowl, your season starts. He's now a veteran, so he probably doesn't have to do all the strenuous training camps, right? Because these players get perks, right? Once they've established you're great, you're going to get perks. So he probably doesn't have to go as hard in training camp. He gets to go through the season, and his season gets to end in January. And then he gets to go on vacation and live his life. And he doesn't have to worry about all of the other stress. If the Super Bowl comes and if playoffs comes, great. But he doesn't have to be dependent on that. And
right.
I kind of like it. It's a great business decision. I don't know. What do you think?
They persuaded him. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? They got him in a room. They persuaded him. They you know what I'm saying? And they want him back over. I mean, I don't know what his intentions was when he jumped out and said that, but from what he said and how it ended, it doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up at all.
Did we get was that the police knocking on his window before he got?
You know what I was wondering is if he was trying to get to a better lit location.
Oh no! I heard somebody in the back there, "Hey, got a light stand door," and then he got out of here. Like, I got you back.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear that. Oh, there he is. I'm like, should we send him a text?
100,000 running. Didn't see me.
Man, gas station, man. I'm about to run out of petrol. I gotta go get these boys tonight. I'm ready.
Okay. So just so we're all clear on how much money we're talking about. Myles Garrett was like, give me a trade. I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to win. I'm a winner. I want to be known as a winner. I want to go I'm going to win Super Bowls, blah, blah, blah. To a 6-year, $204 million that works out to be $160 million of new money for an average of $40 million a year. I also would say, forget that trade. My bad. I messed up. My fault. So just saying. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Say it again say how much though?
So they added 2 more years. So his contract is a 4-year, $160 million, and it's $80 million guaranteed. And just for people, 80 million guaranteed. So half of his contract is guaranteed. And just so people if you don't understand how this works, just for some context, when he signs, he's due $80 million off top.
Man, I would play for the orange and white Tampa Bay Buccaneers for that type of money. But bring him back with the goddamn Tampa Pirate with the knife in his mouth. Bring him.
So, I mean, listen. Yeah. Excuse me? He was like, I want to trade. And they came into the office and they're like, we're not going to trade you, but what we will give you is $160 million. What do you think? Who? 100 and who? Okay. Is he amazing at football? Absolutely. Is he worth it? Yes. But what the problem is it's going to hinder the rest of the team because there's salary caps in the NFL. So he's now eating up. So between him and I believe Deshaun Watson is probably still is getting 40 because all of his contract is guaranteed. So now you have $80 million in money signed to 2 people. And so usually the rule in the NFL, depending on who you ask, will say like, 10% of our salary cap, we want it to be towards high value players. So, receivers, left tackles, quarterbacks, and players like that. But at this point, listen, I've been here risking myself and risking my body, and we've sucked for so long. Give me $140 million.
Hey, just pay the tax. That's all.
Just give me my 140. Where do you want me to sign? Just give me my 140. I mean,
so hold on.
What do you do?
Let me. His words really don't mean nothing. Money means more than his dream of a kid of winning championships. Don't mean a damn thing.
No.
Okay.
That's what I said when you were gone.
Championship ring from the pawn shop.
That's what I was saying when you were gone, Hank.
I was listening to y'all.
People always get mad at me. You know this because I'm always like, these coaches speak. The players speak. The coach, they all lie. Don't believe anything any of these coaches are saying and any of these players are saying. None of these GMs, none of these owners. And I'll move on to DK Metcalf. But I heard last year the Steelers GM say we're good with our quarterbacks in our locker room. We're so good with our quarterbacks, only to get rid of every single quarterback they had on the team last year. They lie. Don't believe these people. Don't believe them. So anyways, so the Steelers got DK Metcalf and great pickup for the Steelers. We need a receiver. Great. Period. That's all the positive I had to say about the Steelers right now. The problem is we need a lot of other things as well.
The Steelers got DK Metcalf. Who's quarterback gonna be?
TBD at this point. Okay. We signed Mason Rudolph, so he's there. I mean, I keep saying this, the Steelers are in a rebuild. Nobody likes when I say that because they're like, the Steelers don't rebuild. The Steelers are in a rebuild. And we're waiting. He's out in the market because apparently we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers because the Steelers have decided that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the guy that's going to take them somewhere.
No, LaFleur, breaking news. I got breaking news on that. The Steelers have just picked up Tyler Van Dyke as their quarterback to win championships because he had dreams of winning championships too.
What happened to what's the name? Where he at? The Jets?
Yep, he's at the Jets.
What the fuck? How you go from 2 quarterbacks to no quarterback?
Because we need help.
You don't know what the hell y'all doing.
Help. So you know what? I'm gonna tell you what I think we're doing. And I keep telling this to people, and everyone thinks I'm crazy. I think the Steelers are trying to strategically rebuild. I think that is what they're trying to do. I think the Steelers right now, just look on their contracts, looking at who they're signing. I love this stuff. Okay. If you are a football person and you want to know what are some telltale signs that your team is rebuilding without saying you're rebuilding, there's a couple of things to look at. The first thing to look at is to see how many people you have on a 1 year contract. How many people you're bringing over for a 1 year contract. That's usually the first thing. The second thing to look at is you want to see how the stars of your team, how their contracts match up with each other. Specifically, when do those contracts end? Because what happens if you have a lot of people on a 1 year deal, right? That means they're on a rental and next year you don't have to sign them so they can go. And then also your stars, if their deals are similar, like a year or two in between. So let's say you have 4 really good people and 3 of those people's contracts all end at the same time. What they're telling you is they can clean the books with everybody within a certain time frame. And usually what happens is you rebuild and you start bringing in rookies to kind of fill these holes, and you slowly start to rebuild. You decide who you want to sign back and who you don't want to sign back. You let them go because they're out of contract. That's exactly what the Steelers are doing right now. I don't know why people don't want to call it that, but that's what's going on. And so I think that's where we're at. I think the Steelers are trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. I think they're trying to figure out a new identity. I think they're trying to figure out how this makes sense. And right now it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think that is what they're strategically doing. Is they're not going to tank, but they're going to make these contracts and be very strategic with how they build their team back up. That's what I think.
So, and they're going to keep Tomlin. Because they don't fire the coaches, huh?
Yeah, I think we've had, 5 coaches since its existence? Maybe 4?
Yeah. But I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think they have a fan base. I think they have a fan base that pays for tickets, that comes to games. I think they've developed a culture where they're not hinging on, we're firing our coach, we're getting a new coach, sell new tickets, right? I think the fan base is kind of stable.
Right. Yeah. I mean, stability is the Steelers. I think the Steelers have a different issue. I think that they are still playing as if this is 2000 football. Like this is the 2000s. And we haven't evolved. We haven't really evolved. And that's the thing. I think the other thing is that they keep making the freaking playoffs. I don't think we're a good football team at all, but somehow we keep making the playoffs.
I think because they have continuity, stability.
Yeah.
I think because they have a foundation of what they do.
Yeah. I always tell people, and this is probably going to get me in trouble with some people that are listening, but I always tell people, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a lot like Colorado Buffaloes. Just because we're winning games doesn't necessarily mean we have all the tools we need to be a good football team. Like sometimes you just win. Sometimes you just win games.
What happened? So Russell Wilson is on the market, right?
Yep.
What could have happened last year? Russell Wilson came in there and probably bid was Russell Wilson, probably a parking spot. Probably had a lot of
Yeah, they said he wasn't like that at all. They said
really?
They said he wasn't like that at all. They said that he came over and was humble and was like, where do you need me? What do you need me to do? They said he wasn't. Yeah, they said even people that I know.
He wasn't a big no more.
Yeah. Even the people that I know, like within the franchise and stuff like that, have said like he was great. Like even he would stay after practice, sign autographs, take pictures. Like he was very much a really great teammate. So
again, say this far, I gotta get ready to run up out of it. Can I get full screen?
What draft pick does the Steelers have?
21.
That's right.
Let me get this full screen right quick. Let me let the people know something. I'm gonna change into the. Y'all see that right there?
Geez,
we got Coach ball. We ain't playing. We gonna go get the ball. Get the crap out of here. One shot here was the dick. Understand me? When I close one eye, they close two. We getting up out of here. You understand me? And really flawed just for you, just to let you know what men want women to think. When we say we going fishing or hunting, damn it, we going fishing or hunting. That's it. We ain't out there cheating. We out there hunting and gathering. That's it. We ain't trying to go catch no 2-legged deer. We trying to get the 4-legged deer. And I'm out.
What is wrong with this man?
Catch me at the 50-yard line. or at that gun line, boss. I'm out of here.
I'm out. Well, you got something for me tonight, dog?
I'm sorry. Yes, I do. As I think women want men to know that allow us to be smart and don't be offended by us being smart. Don't be offended by us being smart and being resilient and being strong and all those things. I feel like just because I want to be strong and all of these things doesn't mean I don't want you to be a man. It just means for me individually, I need to do things for me that make me happy and that make sense for me. So that would be mine.
I got one. A lot of men will not like pour out their feelings in paragraphs. If he says I'm good, he probably means it. If he's quiet, he's probably processing. Don't expect expect a man to be so expressive like your homegirls are.
That's a good one.
Like, we're not wired like that. I think y'all moving y'all mouth is just therapy, huh? Like
I love. So can I just say something? I had to learn that. Like I had because so for me, growing up in the situation I grew up with just like a bunch of guys, I always saw them being expressive when it came to, now that I know this, when it came to sports, when it came to things, right, they enjoyed. And so it was weird for me whenever I didn't get that same expression back, because I was like, but I just saw you are so but it's not me. It's just, that's how it is. Like if they want to be passionate, they'll be passionate. But if not, it's not you. It's just not the time.
I got another one. When you and your man watch porn together, it's not time to critique the girl, okay? All right? It's just time to get in the mood and pull out the Netflix and chill. It's not time to critique when he puts on porn. It's not time for you to start saying, "Ooh, look at her. She had a BBL." It ain't time for that. You know what I'm saying? It's time to focus, right?
Can I just say something though? On behalf of women, a lot of women that do that are because they're feeling insecure by what they're seeing on the screen.
Ooh, let's talk to them.
So if that happens and you're noticing that she's not paying attention to what's going on, she's actually trying to pay attention to the girl, that's a smoke signal. That's a
insecure about what though? That she can't do what the girl is doing?
Maybe that she can't do what the girl's doing. Maybe she's not feeling sexy in that moment. Maybe she is doesn't like that you're so into it. Maybe it's you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But a lot of times in my experience, obviously not all women, but in my experience, a lot of women, whenever they start critiquing or whenever they start doing things like that, it usually means they're feeling something, but they can't say that. So it's going to come out in a different way.
Damn, Flaw, that's why we do these things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. It's like that thing with Hayes always says, like, what do women just tell us? What do women? Well, because it's not really the time to kind of be like, hey, she's really hot and I'm not right now. I'm not feeling sexy. So, you know what I mean? It's not really the time. So instead, you just look at her and you're like, oh God, those tits are fake. No way she's actually doing this. You can tell this is a porn. You know what I'm saying? Like, insert whatever. That's usually what that means, is like,
but she's really feeling what? She's really feeling that.
She's really, either feeling insecure or feeling, not amused. She doesn't really want to be watching it. So she's actually trying to get you to turn it off because she's actually not interested. And she knows if she nags you, you'll probably turn it off. So, like, again, I always say we're very expressive until we feel like we might meet rejection. Then the way that we express ourselves kind of changes and pivots a little bit. And so, yeah, I might not be feeling as confident to be like, she's sexier than me. I might not want to say that, but I might be like, oh gosh, of course you like her with those boobs.
But the women that I've seen that embrace it, now that I think about it, were women that would do women. Like a woman that can look at a woman and be like, eat her up too. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because she's but she has an attraction to her, right? So it's a little different. Right, but if you are feeling, you know what I mean? it's similar to where like have you ever heard, this is kind of a therapy term, but have you ever heard like if you're feeling away or if you're feeling bad, give somebody else a compliment? Like if you're feeling like really down and really low, the way that you can really supersede that is by complimenting somebody else. Tell somebody else something you love about them. Like basically take the way that you wish people were talking to you and talk to other people that way. Well, that's a mature way to handle it. The opposite is I'm feeling like crap, so I'm going to tell you this other person isn't as great as you think this person is. So that's kind of how that's how that works.
Damn. So I've been around a bunch of weak bitches.
It's not that they're weak. They just could be feeling insecure at the moment or unsure of themselves, or you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, again, not for all women. Okay. I'm not here. I don't speak on behalf of all women, you know, but I think women find ways to tell you how they feel. You just have to listen. And if you hear something that's kind of off kilter, or why is she saying that? That annoys me. Or why is she doing that? She knows I don't like that. Ask her. Ask. Are you good? You usually don't act like this. Why'd you say that? That's not like you. What happened?
I get it.
Yeah. Anyways, this is
this is what we do. I know everybody in the comment section act like they already know, but somebody learning from this. I need 300 people in here. Somebody learning from this.
Yeah. I always tell people therapy changed my life. And a lot of the reason is because I had to learn what I was doing, and I had to learn how to correct my own behaviors that were sparked because of something that it wasn't the person, it was actually some things I was feeling. I just didn't know how to express myself, so it came out the wrong way. So what does that say? Contributing to the pay.
$25 contributing to help pay the 2 guns retainer fee. You're gonna need more than $5 for them guns, Reggie. We're gonna get a look at them guns, Reggie.
We're gonna need.
You're gonna need more than $5, Reggie.
So all you think they're worth is $5? I'm the wrong spot. I'm gonna go find some.
You need more than 5, Reggie. You need more than 5. Y'all got to put more than 5 round offering play again. All right, let's get up out of here, Flo.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you. And I also people won't know this about all of our interactions, but like this show is exactly how we are in real life. I just want everybody to know, like, what you see is what you get, no matter what it is. And I think that that's cool. So thanks for doing this. And so glad that Hayes isn't here because he was starting to get on my nerves. Glad it's just you.
You say something, he'll pop up like Candyman
in the background. Anyways, I appreciate you. I'll see you all next Monday. Also, when are we gonna? Oh gosh! Oh, what a psycho!
I heard that.
What a psycho!
I told you.
Guess what? When laying it down, do your thing, cuz. Do your thing.
We need to figure out. We need to figure out when we're going to do our draft. Remember, we're supposed to do our mock drafts. So we need to figure out when we're going to do that.
Let's talk about that behind in the back room.
Sounds good.
All right, man, please be see y'all. Make sure y'all like, share if you're watching this, man. Make sure you go follow Really Flawed. Tell them where to come follow you at, Flawed.
You can follow me at Really Flawed. That is my YouTube channel. I'm actually doing a football series right now where I'm talking about all the ways that I look at football, dissect football, and do all the football stuff. So it's kind of cool to like take it out of my brain and put it down. So Really Flawed on YouTube, you will find all of my amazing content. And if you like what you see, you will get more of that on my channel.
All right, let's get out of here. Really Flawed, mama. So nah, I ain't